Don't be surprised why you're not getting the things I'm describing, because you haven't done anything with the material yet. It's not watching it, it's watching it, taking notes, going into your own charts and studying the things that I teach on a principle-based idea. That way the concepts become real to you. It's not me demonstrating toys. I'm not giving you things that you're only going to find value by watching. You're going to find value in you getting in the chart. We don't know if the trades are always going to pan out. That's the uncertainty behind all speculation. But you'll find that you'll have more courage and you'll have a lack of fear and greed eventually over time, and that's exactly where you need to be for trading. You can't be being tug of war between I'm missing the move, I'm fearful, I'm greedy, I got to get in right now and get some of the move. At least I get some of the move. Don't do that. Either give your best entry based on your method of trading or let it go. That's hard, isn't it? It's very difficult, but it's easier over time. Once you realize these things set up all the time, every single day there's an opportunity, every single day. But you're going to look at things in the wrong context by expecting to trade every single day instead of just picking one good setup per week and being content with that. Teach yourself to be passive on the sidelines, because that's the best position to be in when you don't know what's supposed to be going on in the marketplace. But you're fearful of sitting on the sidelines because you're afraid you're going to miss the next move. And that's all because you're a neophyte. You have no idea what you're doing. And it's a normal thing to feel. I felt it. Everyone else that's making money consistently over time, they have all felt it. Bottom line is you're trying to avoid the unavoidable. You're wasting valuable time thinking like that. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to have losing trading exercises, which means in reality, you're going to have losing live trades. Get over it. That's all part of this business. If you think you're going to be perfect at it, you're going to have every winning trade, every idea, every move called. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't do that. No one else is doing that. You can't be that person. That trader doesn't exist. But there are a ton of traders that are consistently profitable, taking losses, getting knocked down, finding confusing positions, and just not knowing what's going to happen next. I have no problem telling you, and I believe I'm the best trader on this planet, I have no problem telling you if it doesn't make sense, if I don't understand what the market's doing right now, I will tell you, I'm sitting on my hands, I don't know right now. But you're all trying to groom yourself into the trader that says, I know exactly what's going to happen every single time. And that doesn't occur. Now, over the course of a week, I know I will find something and build an opinion about a trade idea that will give me an opportunity to make 50 to 75 pips. I know it's going to happen, absolutely. But that doesn't mean it would be a wise thing for me to perpetuate that idea to the folks that subscribe to me as a student, because it'll build in false sense of security. It'll build elevated expectations, which is not what you should have as a new trader. It should be low expectations. Dream big, but expect the struggle initially and for a while. And that's why I tell everybody, if you're new to my stuff, you need to forget everything, take everything off your charts, go down to just bare bones open, high, low, and close charts or candles, and remove all those things you think you know, and spend 6 months forgetting everything and replacing it with the things that I teach. And it's expensive because you're already assuming that I probably don't know what I'm talking about. There's a sales pitch coming. There's a twist in the plot. If you look around the folks that's been around here for a while, they have been convinced. They drank the Kool-Aid. There's nothing going to change their mind about it. They know this is exactly what the market does, and you can't ever convince them otherwise. I'm not trying to create zombies that follow me and worship me and all that. I'm teaching people to see how the markets actually operate, so that way you're not subscribing to services. That's why you're not asking anybody else their opinion. You're not hanging on bated breath about what I think the euro is going to do, or the British pound, or the dollar. Your growth will be measured by the necessity behind hearing what I say specifically, because if you're in my camp, most of you will all have a great deal of respect for my opinion on what the markets are going to do. Your growth will be measured in how much interest you have in what I think is going to happen in the marketplace. That's my goal. Everyone else that teaches or has services, they want you chained to them. You're a slave to that. You're a slave to their service. You're a slave to their mindset. You're a slave to their opinion. And that does not create independent thinking. It does not promote self-reliance. You have to be able to survive on your own without anyone telling you what you need to be doing. That's the mindset that I try to foster in our community. This is not a team approach. It's not a team sport. And the only way you're going to appreciate the solitude that is necessary to be a trader that's consistently profitable is for you to go through this whole process of initially being codependent, learning the skills, learning the job of trading, price action, submitting to the things, admitting when it's not working for you because you did it wrong. Price is never wrong. It's never wrong. You, as the trader, the operator behind your trading account, are always the one that's wrong. You did something wrong. You traded too early. You bought when you should have sold. You sold when you should have bought. You held on too long. You bought too many. You sold too little. You're always the one that's going to be wrong. And that's a problem for most human beings because we don't want to be judged. Don't judge me. You're not my boss. You're my father. The market is your father. And it's going to discipline you every time it's seen you do something that it's not wanting you to do. If you want to be profitable, you have to get in line with what the market's doing. You can't arm wrestle with it. So if you have these ideas that you have to be consistently 90+% accurate or you're never going to make it, you're never going to make it. I don't trade with the idea that I'm going to be 90+% accurate, because if I thought that way, I would lose more, because it elevates my expectancy of having to be right. Whereas now, I tell you, you see what I can do. You know how I can call markets. The common question is why ain't I in there trading more often? If I'm so good, so accurate, why ain't I trading every single day, multiple times in multiple pairs? Because I understand that I don't need to do that. I make plenty of money on 1 or 2 setups a week, and I'm okay with that because I allow my mind to calm down. You're all chasing the very next trade right now, and you're afraid if you don't chase the next one, you're afraid of the feeling you're going to have because you missed it. And then you personify that feeling and you give it power and you elevate it, and then it takes over a role in your thinking and it consumes your whole thought. Meanwhile, there's other trades setting up and you're pissing and moaning about what you just missed. And more importantly, you probably chased it and it pulled back a little bit and then you got out of it for a loss, and then it ran to where you thought it was going to go. And then that's even more demoralizing. Try to do very little and try to do that for 6 months. It's hard. It's intended to be hard. Your trading is going to be hard initially because you have to get rid of all the stuff you're thinking about, the will that you're trying to impose on the marketplace. It's going to do it because my indicator says this. My analysis is suggesting it's going to do this or that, and the market's going to do what the market's going to do. But you have to be able to read the fingerprints behind it. Otherwise, you have no chance. And I mean that. You have zero chance of being profitable unless you submit to what I'm teaching you. You can't escape it. You cannot escape it. So the new crowd that just recently subscribed to me, I know where you came from, and I'm not trying to belittle anybody today. I'm trying to be very respectful, and I'm trying to be encouraging but real. You're not going to find anything out there like what you're learning from me. You're not. And it's not a sales pitch. It's not a chest beating thing. I mean it. Because I've been through every other discipline out there, and none of it comes close to the understanding, the confidence, the assurity that everything's going to be fine even if you take a loss, the clarity that the market is presenting you when you understand what it is that's going on, who's doing these things. If you're taught a discipline that teaches markets are random, how can anyone have any confidence in trading with that idea? If I believe wholeheartedly that the market was entirely random, I'm playing financial Russian roulette. And there's no other way to say it, but that's the truth. If the markets were, in fact, entirely random, like every other trading discipline teaches, there's no reason why anybody with a sane mind should put money at risk. Why would anybody invest in a market that's completely and utterly random? That means that it's a game of chance. And I've shown forever, every single week, that these things are not random. They're being controlled, they're being manipulated, and now there's this big rush on YouTube The markets are rigged. We just figured it out. The markets are rigged. The markets have always been rigged. I've been preaching that for 20 years. I knew it from the beginning. I just couldn't figure out how they were doing it and what was the phenomenon behind it. And when you understand how this whole thing works, game over.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.